Hi there, I'm Alphonse, and we are back with Alan Wake 2. Well, it's our first Alan Wake 2 stream. But we are back in what it seems to be Bright Falls. I am not entirely sure. I know nothing about this game. And I cannot wait to play it. So, let's get into it. First of all, I'm gonna do a quick synchronization check as usual. And I have to refresh something. Give me 1 second. Because stream elements is being weird again. God damn it. Give me 1 second. How are you all doing? How is your day going? How's the week starting for you all? I have a really busy week. I have a test or two. Oh my god, the mug just went flying. I have a test or two this week on the classes that I'm attending to. So it's gonna be an interesting week. Yeah, give me 1 second to do the synchronization check. We can start. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Right. Wow, it is in sync without me having to tinker with it. That's a new one. Especially for not having used the camera in like a week and a half. I having with a really bad migraine in the morning. So excuse me if I don't turn the lights on. If the the quality of the webcam suffers, I will probably turn them on. But for now, I think I prefer to enjoy the darkness, as Alan would never say, because Alan wants to get out of the dark place. I don't know when the game starts, so we are going to start the game with a quick recap of the events, because Jesus fucking Christ, the Remedyverse is a lot. So, canon Remedyverse that we know about: only Alan Wake, quote unquote American Nightmare, not entirely sure, and Control so far, and now Alan Wake 2. Not so canon Remedyverse, we have Max Payne, which is not canon. Especially Max Payne 3 is 100% not canon, but Max Payne 1 and 2 are debatably head canon. They are fan canon. But the canon ones is just Alan Wake, Control, Alan Wake 2, and maybe Alan Wake American Nightmare. But the American Nightmare is still like debatable so far. Quantum Break falls into the same canon, fan canon of Alan Wake. So I'm gonna do a recap, ignoring Max Payne, because Max Payne, if we follow what Max Payne is just a fictional story about a fictional detective made by Alan Wake. He wrote Max Payne, and Max Payne is not real. Max Payne eventually becomes Alex Casey because Remedy loses the rights to Max Payne. So Alex Casey is the. I did not know they were related. Every single Remedy game is related. And welcome to the stream, Pig. How are you doing? But yeah, Max Payne is not canon, but it lives on in the Alex Casey story, as far as I understand, because they couldn't use Max Payne, they lost the rights, and they have to use the name Alex Casey. So we get to Alan Wake 1. Alan Wake is a writer. He's on a writer's block. he goes on a short vacation with his wife Alice to Bright Falls. Bright Falls is a small southern ish, like it's like mid southern American average town, where he finds that his wife has been kidnapped. Um, there is like a dark creature possessing the neighbors of the town and turning them into like shadow people that attack him. And there is a psychiatrist that was supposed to meet with them according to the meeting that the wife was planning to take Alan to a psychiatrist specialized on on writers and creator blocks. So Alan could go back to writing because he didn't write anything for years. Um, so the psychiatrist eventually kidnaps Alan and his I forget the name, his manager Barry. Barry is not only the manager, Barry is also Alan's best friend from childhood. He doesn't get along with Alice, with Alan's wife, but they love Alan and they have to get along for the sake of Alan. So uh, the psychiatrist kidnaps Alan, and the psychiatrist ends up dying. As far as we know, the psychiatrist is dead. As far as we know, then we have Alan running around town, fighting the shadow creatures, fighting the shadow, the dark entity is called, that lives inside the lake and takes the form of an old lady called Barbara Jagger, which is a pun on Baba Yaga, the European witch. Um, and eventually Alan meets the sheriff. Well, Alan meets the sheriff in the beginning of the game, but the sheriff Breaker, if I remember correctly, Sheriff Breaker is the sheriff of Bright Falls and the daughter of the previous Sheriff Breaker, who was also part of the Federal Bureau of Control. We will get into that when we get to that. It's again, quick recap. Get with the get with the story. Okay, so Sheriff Breaker, Alan, and Barry move around and find the Lady of the Light. The Lady of the Light is an old lady that lives in town. Cynthia Weaver. Holy heck, this is insane. You have heard nothing, pig. I have been obsessing over fucking Alan Wake, Quantum Break, and Control over the past. Like, my hyperfixation has been fucking Remedyverse for almost a year, and I'm losing it. So you can imagine. um, but yeah, they go around following the messages of a lady called Cynthia Weaver. Cynthia Weaver is known around the town as the Lady of the Light. The Lady of the Light is an old crazy lady from the 70s. She was a teenager in the 70s, and she knew both Barbara Jagger and a writer called Thomas Zane. Thomas Zane was supposed to be a poet. Do you promise to put out your video essay if I don't mind? I am writing a taste and aftertaste of Control, and it's so fucking big, and it's so connected to everything else that it's gonna be a taste and aftertaste of Alan Wake, of the Remedyverse. Like, it has to be. I cannot do it just with Control, because doing it just with Control, it would force me to do a taste and aftertaste of Alan Wake, and a taste and aftertaste of Alan Wake 2, and eventually Quantum Break. So I might as well do a massive mega video. This is just like a summary, a quick summary of everything. So I finished editing the commission that I was doing for Tria. Now I have time to actually do more of my own stuff. I'm going to focus mainly on the Remedyverse stuff, because this has been my hyper fucking fixation for a while, and it's driving me insane to the point where I want to do a lot of creative things. Like, it's a main driving force in my life right now, and I haven't had that with games in a while. So they do find Cynthia. Cynthia used to be friends with Thomas Zane, a poet from the 70s, and Barbara Jagger. Barbara Jaeger and Thomas were a couple. Barbara eventually died. Thomas disappeared. And Cynthia went fucking crazy and started like obsessing over lights. She changed every light bulb in town. She carried a lantern with herself all the time. She would remind the neighbors to never stay in the dark and change the light bulbs. And when there was like a dark place in like a building, she would be there to tell you, hey, don't go in there, the darkness is dangerous. um and Alan, the sheriff, and Barry find Cynthia Weaver, and Cynthia tells them that eventually what used to be Barbara fell into the lake. The dark entity ate Barbara and took her form. Barbara didn't look like an old lady, but somehow she aged from the 70s to where the game takes place, which is in 2010. Barbara kept aging like normally because the dark entity took the persona of Barbara. And Thomas Zane tried to kill the thing that used to be Barbara Jaeger, and eventually got trapped in the dark place with the dark entity. Thomas Zane in the game looks like a scuba diver because he used to do a lot of diving, and he got trapped in the dark place with his diving suit because the cabin where they used to live was a cabin in the middle of a lake, and he had like a diving hobby, and he went into the lake to find the dark entity. Thomas Zane has been appearing on like Alan's mind throughout the entire game, and Alan has been following the clues that Thomas leaves, but also the clues that he himself have been leaving, because as far as you go on through the game, you start to learn that everything that is playing on the game, it's actually written by Alan himself, but he wrote himself not to remember that he was the writer of the game, which is okay, good, Inception, fun. Alan forces Barry, Sheriff Weaver, and Sheriff Breaker, and Cynthia Weaver to stay in the light room, which is a safe room where the darkness cannot reach them. And Alan tries to fight the darkness, eventually finding it, fighting it, and killing the darkness, as far as we know, because it's not really dead, it's more like trapped again. And freeing his wife Alice. But by freeing his wife Alice, Alan somehow created a copy of himself called Mr. Scratch, and Thomas Zane told him Mr. Scratch is the only thing that everyone will remember about you. Mr. Scratch seems to embody every single bad thing about Alan Wake. Also, hi Marley, welcome to the whole Remedyverse rant that I have to go into before getting into Alan Wake 2. Mr. Scratch embodies everything wrong with Alan. He's egotistical. He wears like a suit instead of like more common clothes. He wears like the type of suit that you would wear to an interview in TV, and he eventually devolves into a fucking full-on psychopath in American Nightmare, which is not fully canon. The only thing you need to know about American Nightmare is that Mr. Scratch tells Alan that he has been torturing both Barry and Alice because Barry and Alice eventually think that Alan is dead because Alan is trapped on the dark place, and Mr. Scratch has been appearing on the like corner of the eye of Alice and Barry just to make them believe that Alan is alive, but just enough to make them paranoid about Alan being alive, not enough to take his place in their lives. So the thing that you need to know about American Nightmare is that eventually in American Nightmare, Alan talks to Thomas Zane. They talk about, hey, who wrote who, because Thomas Zane wrote about Alan, and that could have invented Alan, because both Thomas Zane and Alan Wake have the power of altering reality with their writing. I need to check if the console has volume. Both Thomas Zane and Alan Wake have the power of altering reality with the writing, and Thomas Zane wrote about Alan when he was a kid, and Alan wrote about Thomas Zane as an adult which means that Alan could have made Thomas Zane up, and Thomas Zane could have made Alan up. But Thomas Zane says clearly that he didn't create Alan. Well, I think he says, "I didn't make your story." If I remember correctly, the quote is, "I didn't make your story. You are writing this yourself." So he doesn't fully say, "I didn't create you." He's just stating that he has no control over what is going on right now on Alan Wake 1. He might have created Alan when he was a kid, but he doesn't have control on the events of Alan Wake. So, Alan wanders through the dark place for years. 2010 goes to 2013. Alan eventually gets out on a place called Night Springs. Night Springs is a fictional town based on your average American town like Bright Falls. Night Springs is a fictional town where anything can happen, and it's based on a TV show where Alan used to write for. That TV show used to be a radio show, and we learned about it in Control. That eventually became a play. No, it was a play that became a radio show that became a TV show, and the Federal Bureau of Control bought it and used it to get people used to the paranormal. So in case they saw something really paranormal, they would think that it was fiction. So it is like a Twilight Zone kind of thing. If the Twilight Zone was an experiment from the government to make people not believe the things that they are seeing. And we will get into that when we get into it. We are still in Alan Wake American Nightmare. So American Nightmare 2013. Mr. Scratch has been torturing both Barry and Alice for 3 years. Alice is fully convinced that Alan is awake. Barry moved on and became the manager of a couple of rock stars that we meet on Alan Wake 1 and that are super important, the All Gods of Asgard. And he has been on a tour with those two rock stars. And in that game, we talk to Thomas Zane. We kill Mr. Scratch. Mr. Scratch is, according to the game, dead. As far as we know, Mr. Scratch is no more. And then we go to Federal Bureau of Control, also known as the game Control. The Federal Bureau of Control is an entity much like the Illuminati, but if the Illuminati and the FBI were a single thing, and they work in a place called the Oldest House. The Oldest House is a living building that no one can see except the people that are supposed to see it, be it the people that work in that building or special people like the protagonist of our game Control, Jessie Faden. Jessie Faden is a girl that is looking for her brother. Her brother disappeared when they were kids. They found a slide projector. That slide projector took them to different realities where they met alter entities, eventually ending up on an alter world event. Alter world event, also known as AWE, is the terminology that the Federal Bureau of Control uses to describe things like the event on Ordinary, the town of Jesse, or the thing that happened with Alan Wake in Bright Falls, and a shit ton of other alter world events that we find throughout the game that are not important right now. So, Jesse finds the director of the FBC. He has killed himself, as far as Jesse knows, and she picks the gun that the director used, effectively becoming the new director of the FBC, because that's how it works. It's like an Arthurian legend. Jesse meets Ahti. Ahti is the janitor of the FBC and also maybe a Nordic god. Like, he seems to have like a Valhalla vibe to himself. Like he's a Finnish janitor that speaks in Finnish a lot, but he seems to be more than a human. So eventually Jesse gets to meet all the workers on the FBC, gets to learn the story of how the previous director of the FBC, Zachariah Trench, and Darling is the head of the research in the FBC, found the slide projector, and they took the slide projector and Dylan Faden, the brother of Jesse Faden, into the FBC. Jesse ran away before they could capture her, but they kept tabs on her to see if Dylan being like captive by the FBC and Jesse being free, they would develop differently because they both came into contact with the same entity. And they eventually kind of groomed Dylan to become the new director of the FBC, but Dylan was violent and he became like super problematic to the FBC to the point of killing other people that used to work there. So he became a prisoner instead of being the new director. So Jesse finds the people of the FBC, starts working with them, the ones that are alive, especially one Emily Pope. Emily Pope is the new head of research because Darling is gone, dead, maybe, we're not entirely sure. And the previous director, Zachariah Trench, is fully dead. We know he's dead. So Jesse works with the board. The board is an interdimensional entity that controls the FBC, or at least gives orders to the FBC, chooses the new director when a new director is needed, and pretty much has control. We are not entirely sure if it is controlling the oldest house or if it is just attached to the oldest house. But we know that the board is able to bring people back and from the back and into the astral plane, where they talk to the board and other astral entities. This is getting super out of hand, but trust me, we're getting close to the events that we're in. This is skipping Quantum Break. Quantum Break is pseudo canon because it was a game that it was exclusive for Xbox that belongs to Microsoft. It doesn't belong to Remedy, so they don't have the rights of the game. And the only thing you need to know about the game is that it takes place on a university. In that university, they tinker with time travel. It's an open-ended time travel story. You don't need to know anything else, except that there is a teacher investigating the disappearance of Alan Wake, and the events of American Nightmare are kinda canon because they are stated on like a blackboard where they talk about the events of Alan Wake and how they saw Mr. Scratch and stuff like that. And there is an FBI agent that might be important in this game that looks like Sam Lake. Sam Lake is one of the creators of Alan Wake and a big important name in Remedy. But Sam Lake is also the face of Max Payne. It's weird because he's also Sam Lake himself on Alan Wake. He appears on TV as Sam Lake, but he's also Max Payne. And probably, I'm not entirely sure, Alex Casey, the FBI agent that somehow is connected to Alex Casey, the fictional detective made up by Alan Wake. So that's all you need to know about Quantum Break, except there is a character. If you look into sorry, I need to zoom here. If you look into this picture, you will notice that the neon sign says Mr. Door. Mr. Door is an important fucking name, and I hate that they put it right there in the first goddamn menu of the game, because Mr. Door might be a reference to a character called Mr. Hatch in Quantum Break, who is a time traveler. We think it's a time traveler. He says to the protagonist of Quantum Break that he is like him. He was altered and he became something else. He became a gate to something more. But he wants to remain humble, so he doesn't consider himself a gate. He considers himself a hatch. Hence the name Mr. Hatch. It's really fucking convenient that there is a Mr. Hatch on Quantum Break and there is a Mr. Door on Alan Wake 2. It is supposed to be the same fucking character. I know I'm pulling, and it's always sunny in Philadelphia, like Charlie moment with the strings in my back. I can fucking assure you that is a connection that I'm not making up. The game is making it. I say this as a Xenoblade fan. This lore is insane. It is. And I say this as a Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear fan. Remedy, Jesus fucking Christ. This is getting to like near This is getting to Yoko Taro levels, which is beyond the other things we mentioned. So, Mr. Hatch might be at play in this game, but the rest of the game, Quantum Break, is not important. Only Mr. Hatch and maybe the FBI agent are important. That happened on 2016. American Nightmare happens on 2013. We jump to Control, 2019, 3 more years. In Control, as I was saying, we find the brother of Jesse. The brother of Jesse is controlled by an entity called the Hiss. The Hiss is like a resonance type of energy that possesses people and alters them to the point where they keep repeating the same Dadaist poem to the point of dying from just repeating the poem, or mutating into the Hiss soldiers that are the main enemies of the game that you will fight. The Hiss is corrupting not only the soldiers of the FBC, it's also corrupting all the objects of power and alter items. Objects of power, and this is important because we will need to know it. An object of power is an alter item that can be bound to a person and give that person powers, like the gun that Jesse is using. The gun that Jesse is using is an object of power. Jessie binds to herself more objects of power, like the Benikoff TV that allows her to levitate, or a carousel horse that allows her to like dash left and right. Like, different objects of power can be bound to a single person. The difference between an object of power and an alter item is that alter items cannot be bound. They are just items that repeat the same rituals and patterns, and they are chaotic messes that no one can control. Imagine, how do I put it? Imagine the most violent river that you can imagine, and there is no way, because the terrain is too fucked up, to control that river. And then imagine a river where the terrain is more stable and you can put a dam on that river and use it to generate energy. That's the difference between an alter item and an object of power. They have the same energy, the same power. One can be controlled, the other one can't. Objects of power usually are linked to either entities, be it the dark entity or the board, or the former. The former used to be part of the board, but it's not anymore. It's just an astral entity that we will talk about. But alter items and objects of powers can be connected to those entities, and they are usually connected to an alter world event. Alter world events connect the normal real world that we know to something else. It could just be changing the real world. It could be connecting it to the astral plane. It could be an alter world event, like in the case of Quantum Break, the alter world event was time travel. It's something that alters something or someone. As far as I know, a person cannot be an object of power, but it can be treated like one. The protagonist of Quantum Break is considered an object of power because he got altered, and he can time travel without using the machine in the game. So he's no longer human. He's a time traveler. Same with Mr. Hatch. He got changed at some point and became maybe a time traveler or something more. And then we have Jesse Faden, who is the director of the FBC and has bound a shit ton of alter items, well, not alter items, objects of power to herself. The lake in Alan Wake is considered a place of power. A place of power, also known as poops, is a place where energy leaks, and usually places of power create alter items or objects of power, and entities tend to be attracted to those places of power or created by them. Be it like the dark entity came to the lake of Bright Falls because the lake was already a place of power, or the lake created the dark entity. We don't know. What we do know is that the FBC is keeping track of all these places and objects of power and alter items and alter world events. So, Jesse fights the Hiss. Jesse fights her brother. Dylan falls into a coma. Jesse destroys the Hiss, but she just destroys like the source of the Hiss. And the whole thing of the game is that, oh, we still need to clean this place. That's the excuse the game gives you to still have more enemies and have the DLC and all that. No, um, I have been talking for half an hour. I'm really sorry. I promise this is the summarized version. I have like 100 hours on Control, just Control. So this is nothing. So, um, you finish all that and you learn that the foundation of the FBC, the Federal Bureau of Control, not the FBC, but the oldest house, the building itself, is being attacked by the Hiss. And Jesse runs to the foundation and finds a nail. The nail is like a monolith that is connected to the board, and there is a smaller monolith that might be connected to the former, who used to be part of the board, but now it's not. What is important is that the Hiss was attacking the nail, and Jesse purges the little remnants of the Hiss that are there, and when she comes back to the oldest house, Alan Wake contacts Jesse. And this is fucking important because so far, the only person that has found the oldest house without being invited by the house or being invited by someone that works there is Jesse, because Jesse has a thing called Polaris. Polaris is a power that lives inside Jesse that was created by an entity called Hedron. When they found the slide projector as kids, they found multiple entities in there. The Hiss was supposed to be one of them, but they never found the Hiss. The FBC found the Hiss, but they didn't. And Jesse found Hedron and a thing called the Nod Mother. The Nod Mother might be important later on, but it's not important now, so I will not get into the Nod Mother because it's not important at the moment. If there is a reference to the Nod Mother in this game, I will let you know and I will do a quick recap of who and what the Nod Mother is. You need to know Hedron. Hedron is a resonance-based entity just like the Hiss. Hedron is what's keeping alive the remaining FBC soldiers. They are wearing an HRA. HRA is Hedron's resonance amplifier, and it's a device made by Dr. Darling that connects every person wearing that device. It connects them to Hedron, and Hedron protects them from the Hiss because it's one resonance canceling the other. So Hedron eventually gets attacked by the Hiss and Dylan. Hedron dies, but what Hedron created inside Jesse, which is Polaris, Polaris is still alive, which is what Jesse uses to kill the Hiss. So Hedron is gone, the Hiss is gone. All that remains is a remnant of the Hiss that is not connected to a source, so it doesn't have like a full-on goal to fulfill. It's just there, trying to corrupt anything that comes near it. And Alan Wake, somehow from the dark place, contacts Jesse. Alan tells Jesse that he is in desperate need of help and that he knows that she will help him because that's what the director of the FBC does. Eventually, you learn that the psychiatrist from Alan Wake 1, the Dr. Harman, Emil Harman, was captured by the FBC because he was a paranatural criminal, because he was tinkering with alter items and trying to create his own alter items and alter world events. So he was judged as a paranatural criminal. He eventually jumped inside the lake and became a corrupted entity known as the Shaded Harman. Shaded Harman, Jesus fucking Christ, the fucking names. Shaded Harman is like one of the shadow people that we have been fighting through Alan Wake. The FBC captures Shaded Harman and takes them to the oldest house. All this is happening in Washington, and the oldest house is in New York. That is a hell of a fucking trip, but Harman is far away from the Dark Entity, so Harman is corrupted by the Dark Entity, but is not in contact with the Dark Entity. So he is his own thing now. And when he gets into the FBC, before Jesse gets to destroy the Hiss corrupts Harman even more turning Harman into a mix between the Dark Entity and the Hiss. And he doesn't look even human anymore. He looks like a weird tree person. Uh, so Harman has been wreaking havoc in the FBC, and you start to find clues that Alan might be the person that made the Hiss up. So you might think, why did Jesse and Dylan never find the Hiss if they had the slide projector? Because the Hiss didn't exist. Alan wrote a page where he says that he made something, an alien threat that had to feel real, because a real threat will attack a real hero, and he needs a real hero, and that hero is Jesse. So the threat that he made, he put it on a shoebox. In the world of Remedy, shoeboxes are a loophole to how Alter World events work. If there is an Alter World event, the only safe fucking place is a shoebox. If you want to keep something from being altered or destroyed or erased or anything, the shoebox is the place. Alan learns this in Alan Wake 1, where he finds the clicker. The clicker is a light switch that he used to have as a kid, and that he used to kill the Dark Entity, or at least seal the Dark Entity. So, that clicker was in a shoebox made by Thomas Zane, and somehow that loophole that Thomas Zane made every single shoebox in the universe immune to Alter World events. So Alan created the Hiss and made it into a slide that he put into a shoebox that he wrote into the FBC, that eventually the director Trench found. He got corrupted by the Hiss. The Hiss expansion through the FBC happened, and then Darling found Hedron, and with Hedron they tried to stop the Hiss, and then we have Jesse getting into the FBC and fighting and all that. All that fucking happened, and the poem, the Dadaist poem that the Hiss corrupted people keep repeating, was written by fucking Alan Wake. Which is frustrating because I love the game Control, and it kinda kills me that the whole plot of the game is just Alan Wake fucking things up again. It's one of my tiny pet peeves about it, that I don't like that a story that was good on its own is just Alan Wake again. But other than that, it's a really good story and a really good game. So you find Harman, or the thing that used to be Harman, now called the third thing, because it's neither the Hiss or neither the Dark Entity. It's just the third thing. You find it, you fight it, you kill it, and Alan talks to Thomas Zane. Thomas Zane tells Alan on the DLC of Control that Mr. Scratch is something that he will take care of, that Alan doesn't need to worry about Mr. Scratch, which kinda implies that the events of American Nightmare doesn't happen. That's why I say that it's pseudo-canon, as until we see it on this game, on Alan Wake 2, the events of American Nightmare don't exist, because supposedly Mr. Scratch is still alive. So Alan Wake thanks Jesse and tells Jesse that they will see each other again eventually. 2020 something. I don't know when this game takes place. I think it takes place in 2023. If I remember, oh yeah, at the ending of the DLC of Alan Wake, one of your co-workers in the FBC tells you, hey, we are getting a signal from like a couple of years in the future from Bright Falls. Isn't that the place where Alan Wake, the Alter World event happened? But it's weird because it's like on a couple of years in the future. It's like 2020 something. So I don't know the exact year. I don't remember the exact year, but it's supposed to happen like, let's say 3 years later. Let's say 2022. So on the FBC, they know about the event that is going to happen in this game, but they cannot do anything yet. One, because it's in the future, and two, because they are still dealing with the remnants of the Hiss inside the oldest house. So this is going to be just an Alan Wake adventure. Alan Wake, Jesus fucking Christ, on the FBC, we found a letter, an internal letter of the Federal Bureau of Control about people talking to each other about how a federal agent, an FBI agent called Alex Casey, was asking about Alan Wake, and how they found that weird because Alex Casey is the same name of the fictional character created by Alan Wake. That might come into play on this game. Now, after 40 something minutes, let's say 40 minutes of rambling, we can actually get into the game. And I hope you enjoy it because I couldn't be more hyped. Jesus fucking Christ, my head hurts. I was going to press the shortcut to activate the coffee PNG tuber that I use. I forgot that I was using the camera and that I don't need to use shortcuts in real life. Text, language, dialogue, language, subtitles, yeah. Quality over performance. Let's do quality for now, but I eventually will probably jump to performance because these games are tanky. Ooh, there was a flickering Alan Wake over there. I need to raise the volume a tiny bit. Enable tutorials, horror flash visual intensity, horror flash audio intensity. Oh, a prop horror inserts like jump scares? Ugh. Not a big fan, not a big fan. Okay, I'm not gonna touch any of these. Control, aim assist, single tap walk, quick turn, adaptive triggers. Okay. Mind place what? Mind place toggle input. I don't know what that is and I don't want to get into it. Quality, brightness, motion blur. Fuck motion blur, nobody wants that. Audio is fine. I'm gonna lower music a tiny bit. Music is really good, but music and sound effects usually like fuck with the voices, and I want the dialogue to be louder. Bass reduction, mono audio, dialogue vibration intensity. Hyperacusis filter applies a filter to decrease the high-pitched sounds, like bird calls, tire screeches, or machinery noises. This is really fucking good for people with tinnitus, I think it's called in English. The ringing in the ears that you have chronically. Like that would be good for Nea, because Nea has the tinnitus. Speaker names in the subtitles, that's good. Subtitles background finds signage subtitles, show subtitles for in-word signs. Okay. Dot crosshair hide. Ooh. This is a thing that Alan Wake didn't used to have. Alan Wake didn't used to have a crosshair. Alan Wake had a flashlight and the flashlight was the crosshair. So if you wanted to know where you were going to shoot and probably waste bullets, you would have to look at the center of the light of the flashlight. Like it was an in-game crosshair. So I am curious about how this is going to look. What do you mean nudity? What do you mean nudity, Alan? Are you writing smut right now? Okay, so I got the version that has the DLC because there is like story DLC. I don't really care about the skins, like the digital deluxe skins and stuff like that. I care about the. Do you have the default suit and the celebrity suit, which doesn't change much? I don't care about the skins. I just care about the story DLC because there is apparently going to be story DLC, or there is already story DLC. I don't know. I am going to play on normal. I'm not gonna play on hard. But hey, welcome to Alan Wake 2. It's been only 47 minutes out of the 2 hours of today.
Come to a story with hopes and expectations, looking for an answer. Sometimes it would be better to live with that hope without ever knowing the full story.
Let me know how the volume is if you want the game a little louder. I think it's in a good volume right now.
In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way.
Like a discounted Jared Leto. Don't be like
This is
that.
not the story
That's
I
a
hoped it would
big
be.
insult. He doesn't
This is not
deserve
the
that.
ending I wanted. This story will eat us alive. This
Oh,
story
Alan,
is a
it's been
monster.
eating me alive for a fucking while now. It's not going to eat me
Monsters
alive.
wear many
It already
faces.
has. Monsters wear many faces. It's one of the sentences of the game. I don't know how much you know about how much I hate Jared Leto, Piggy. But I really don't like him. Okay, off-brand Keanu Reeves, I can see. Why are you naked? Who are you and why are you naked? Sir? Oh my god, we are controlling the naked guy. Oh no, we are controlling the naked guy. Oh, you can actually turn the camera, not see his face? You cannot see his face, but you can kind of see his dick. What the fuck is this? Okay, this is not how I expected to start the game. Do you want me to raise the brightness? This looks like Cauldron Lake from Alan Wake 1. Chubby naked man, the peak of video game protagonist. Oh, this is big gaming over here. What is that? Is that meat? What in the living fucking hell is this? Also, there should be a nudity pop-up on the beginning of the game instead of you having to find it in the options. Ed and Tammy. I don't know those names.
Already gone.
This is already breaking my expectations. I really don't know what this is or where is it going, and I fucking love it. But yeah, no, this kind of looks like Cauldron Lake, like a super HD version of Cauldron Lake. Yes, Chad, I keep looking at his ass. It's really prominent. It's hard not to stir. It's hard not to stir. What the fuck is going on? Is this Alan? Is this supposed to be Alan? Or is just a random guy that we are controlling? What the fuck was that? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Alan, I'm going to punch you. Well, we know about the jump scares now. Dogs? Oh, cannot interact with this. Campings do and don'ts. Okay, cannot interact with the box. You can sprint. It's never good when a game tells you you can sprint. When a game teaches you how to sprint, it means that something is going to follow you. Interesting. A fucked up version of Alan and a shadow person in front of us. This is some Kojima bullshit. A naked man running through the forest, a naked chubby man running through the forest is something I would expect from Kojima. And Sam Lake and Kojima are friends, so you can see why I could say that this is some Kojima shit. Oh, that's a sacrificial altar. No, it's not. It's not an altar. It's a camping site. Oh, what the fuck? Hunting season. So it was a sacrificial altar. Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay. We saw his dick. We ended up seeing his dick. Okay, what the fuck was that? Okay, so on Control there is a thing called the Ocean View Motel. This is really good. In Control there is a thing called the Ocean View Motel. The Ocean View Motel is a threshold. A threshold is a place in between realities. Or places in reality. This is really The Shining.
How are you?
I'm good, Mom. How are you?
This trip might take a little longer than I thought.
What was I saying?
I'm sorry
Oh,
I've
on
been
the
gone
Ocean
so
View
much
Motel
lately,
there are
Logan.
doors with symbols,
Oh
and I
my
think
God,
one of the
Mom,
symbols in
it's
one
not
of the
your
doors
fault.
was
People
the
get all
one,
jittery.
the two intersecting triangles
Just
that the cult was
work
wearing.
stuff.
Right. Well, Dad and I are just watching the latest episode of Night Springs here. Mom, it's so good.
No spoilers. I'll let you get back to the show. You were supposed to wait and watch with me. I love you both.
This is what happens when you go on work trips, Mom. Love you too. And say hi to Casey. Tell him to stop brooding so much.
Logan? I will.
Cauldron
kiddo.
Lake. Oh, the camping site of Cauldron Lake is closed. And there is some lake as Alex Casey.
Logan thinks you should try cheering up.
Snarky kid. Wonder where she gets that from.
And of course of course they are drinking coffee. Fucking Sam Lake.
It can't be a coincidence that another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Feels like the killer's leaving us a message.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. It's right up your alley. You should take lead. Think of me as the backup.
Okay. Any words of advice?
Nothing that would cheer anyone up.
Petri has been fucking nailing it with the music so far, huh?
Here we are. Cauldron Lake.
This doesn't
Time to
look
get
like
to
Cauldron
work.
Lake. At least the Cauldron Lake I used to know. Then again, people got really traumatized by the events of Alan Wake 1. So maybe they
He
abandoned
was
the
supposed to be
thing.
here to show us to the crime scene. There's the car, so where's the deputy?
Eaten by a bear? I'll check out that map.
Funny, Casey, funny. Return 1 invitation. Find the deputies.
Worth memorizing before we get swallowed up by the trees.
You're a really cheery guy, aren't you?
I should take a look at that map.
Can we not take a look at the car? No? Okay. Nightmare Territory, Cauldron Lake map.
I think I hear someone. Could be
Mulligan.
our deputy.
I think Mulligan was one. Yeah, Mulligan and Thornton. They are from Alan Wake 1. We do have a map, thank fucking god. Okay, so one of my biggest pet peeves about Alan Wake 1 is that there is no map in that game and you get lost constantly. So having a map is really fucking good. Crossfold Hills, Cauldron Lake Shore. Crossfold Hills. And a Witch Ladle. Witch Hut. General Store. Bonny Leg Path. And rental cabins. Witchfinder Station. Those are a lot of witchy names. Okay, can I look into the... How do you run? You run with L3. Okay. The car has nothing. I'm really curious to see because Alan Wake tends to be the type of game that hides things in plain sight. So if the game wants me to go one way, I might want to check the other. Oh, interesting. Well, that path is closed.
The Federal Bureau of Control?
Huh.
That's a new one.
Huh.
Toxic volcanic gas, huh?
The FBC is an obscure branch. It only shows up for unusual cases.
Well,
what's so
if...
unusual about volcanic gas?
Beats me.
If we wanted a reference to Control, we found it. Wow, I wasn't expecting it to find it so early. Jesus. That's good. That's really good. Okay, so the FBC, we knew that the FBC was involved in...
They really don't want people coming in here.
We knew that the FBC was involved in... I cannot move. Oh, items. It was asking for items. Oh, it's like a Resident Evil type menu. The FBC left a study branch in Bright Falls after the Alan Wake Ultra World event. So that might be why that is closed up. What is this? Rarest wildlife in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, what the fucking... Oh, this might be the mine place. Now I can hear it. How's the game? The game so far is really good, and we already found a reference to the Bureau of Control. And apparently this girl has a mounted deer head in a mine place, which reminds me of Deadly Premonition. So, fun. Okay, so we have the map, and we have the... Oh, the vicinity connections, the murder method. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. How the fuck do you get into... Is that all the info that it's going to give me? Look at the deer head again. Give me 1 second. Deer head. Oh, and it remembers where you left there? That's so good. The shadows look like arms? It kinda does. I can see it, yeah. It kinda looks like a T-pose kind of thing. Interesting. Also, where the fuck is the light coming from? Oh, there's a fixture on top of the head. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is all the info we're going to get out of this. You can zoom in, but that's all. Oh, that's how they are doing the info on these ones. Okay. Finally made my way to Cauldron Lake. The fence was easy to climb over. With the proper gear and skills I thankfully possess. Next goal is spotting the rare and elusive orange-crowned warbler. A little late in the season, but hopefully I can catch it before my eyes hurt right now. I need the lights, sorry. Catch it before the journey to the south begins. I've noticed intriguing behavior in the surrounding common bird life. They seem to be alarmed and swarm around the lake. No birds of prey nearby. There are some strange sounds carried by the wind. However, nothing I can recognize or explain. Getting a little concerned, I might have to find another spot somewhere safer. The sounds are getting closer. Okay. Moved inland, foliage isn't stunning. Must come back in fall. Had to stop and sketch this gorgeous by maple. Neat. Just at the way the Methuselah's beard hangs off it. This is why trees are better than people. Speaking of people, saw some drunk guy staggering around the forest earlier, acting weird, maybe on drugs. Kept my distance. Should probably find another spot. So annoying. After I saw that weirdo, I decided to change spots again, moved up the mountain a bit, found a fantastic overlook to camp at. I am more interested in this Alaska onion grass. Invasive but edible, surprisingly tasty. Started hearing wolves or wild dogs, something like that 10 minutes ago, but they sound wrong, like rabies? Want to leave, but the sun is going down and my stupid phone is dead. Gonna hide in a tent and hope they go away. Something is really not good about this place. Interesting. So this is how they are going to do the lore drops. On Control you find like different reports and bureaucratic shit and letters throughout the game. And they get added to your file of different files. Oh, interesting. So it is a shortcut. And in Alan Wake, you will find different pages. You will find like things you could read, like the map, for example, or signs that you could read. But you would also find pages from the manuscript that Alan was writing, with spoilers for the rest of the game, which is funny.
Saga.
Oh,
Time to get
Saga.
back to work.
Saga doesn't want to go in that direction. Okay. Back to work it is. But I like how they do it here. It's like a weird mix. I love how dark this feels, even though it's the middle of the day. It's like foggy as shit. And then sunny. Oh my god, it's the Canary Islands. Sorry, Casey. So Casey knows about the Bureau of Control. Hey, Mulligan. Long time no see.
Hey there, Agent
Rental
Casey,
comments.
right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan.
Sorry about the misogyny,
I just
man.
figured that, you know, that,
When are those damn feds gonna show up, Mulligan?
Federal agents right here, Thornton.
The damn
My
feds
partner
are here.
Thornton, down at the crime scene. He's not what you call the sharpest axe in the shed.
Right here? What do you mean? Are they with you? Oh, shit! They didn't hear me, did they?
Ooh, could you use a briefing or any witnesses?
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
Tell them about the heart.
There is options.
Getting to that, Thornton.
There is options. I like that.
Well, we reckon there are some organs that are currently outside
Unaccounted
the
for?
victim's
Oh,
person when they should be, well, you know,
inside.
inside.
Any witnesses?
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night.
Mention the city folk. It's pretty suspicious.
That we have anything against city folk, right, Thornton? But don't worry. Sheriff Breaker took them back to town a while ago.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the campground, all of it.
Hey, Mulligan, tell them I'm here waiting. I'll show them around.
They got it, Thornton.
I like this too. This too used to be like on the radio every now and then, the police radio and the normal town radio. And they were like the silly policemen of the town.
Fucking out-of-towners. We can handle this ourselves if they just stay the hell out of it. All of them.
Shut up, Thornton. They can still hear you.
Just saying. You know I'm usually a calm person. Yoga 3 times a week. But these goddamn city folk always think they know everything. It gets on my fucking nerves.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Need to head to the crime scene. No time to waste.
You have the patience of a saint, dude. Oh my god. Damn city folk.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
Okay, what facts of the case you mean? Oh, I don't... Can I not open the Mind Palace? Oh, you can open the Mind Palace from the map. Or can you? Oh, the map is the Mind Palace. So, unless you find clues, you cannot open the Mind Palace on your own? You can select the difficulty right away, which is interesting. There is a dodge with L1, okay. Aiming with L2. There is no Mind Palace. So you cannot check it whenever you want. It can focus on the player, which is good. It says Mind Palace there, but it's not letting me, so I'm assuming that you have to do it later or if you find something. I'm gonna take this really, really slow. Just warning you. I 100% it control. Oh, now we can get into the Mind Palace. Thank you, game.
The Mind Place.
Well,
My
Mind Place,
version
not
of the
Mind Palace.
technique. To sift through clues and work the case. Building the Mind Place again for each case. Using each field office as a model in my head. The facts are on
Interesting.
the board.
So, tutorial of this.
Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
The case board is a mental technique that allows Saga to analyze clues and progress the investigation. Okay. Love that your Mind Place has a coffee. The previous murders. Confidential, internal dissemination only. Federal Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Okay, can I? You're free to navigate the caseboard or leave by pressing circle. I wanted to check the thing. A series of murders that occur around the town of Bright Falls. Finding the connections will help us search for the killer. So, Bright Falls has supposedly been safe for a while now. Like, at least 10 years. But all the victims reported missing in 2010. So all the victims reported missing during the Alan Wake Alter World event. But the corpses are appearing now? That's really interesting. Because we still don't have a date. Oh, you can move between the caseboard and the map. Nice. Okay, so victims all reported missing in 2010. No other commonalities. Victim was reported missing in 2010. Discovered in 2012. Found in a shallow grave. Ted Lane, dentist. Stab wounds, bloating, bruising on the wrist. Hey.
Hello,
Hey.
everyone.
Thanks for the follow. Found in Cauldron Lake 2018, so that's already 8 years after the disappearance. Some organs missing. Predation state of the body does not match the 8 years spent in a lake. Wendy Davis teacher body bloated, large chest wound. Percy Wolf, store owner, bruising, hard removed, strange tattoos. Found 2 weeks ago, chest wound was ruled as a cause of death. Tattooing on the body is illegible. Interesting. Good. The game is gonna have a lot of gore, so if you cannot handle that, remember that some games will. Some games will have on the title HT. HT is hard topics, so you can know when a game is gonna deal with like themes like suicide, murder, depression. Like there is going to be some topics that can trigger someone. If you don't feel like handling something like the photos that we are apparently going to be seeing, because the gore seems to be like really detailed in this game, feel free to drop off the stream. It's fine. I can understand it. So, murder method. Slight difference in murders. Bloating only commonality in the bodies, but not cause of death. Chest trauma, most of them. Exposure to water post-mortem. The bruising on the wrists and legs, so they were tied. 2 victims had bruising of some form of restraint, strapped or belt down. Most recent victim died of major chest trauma, consistent with a 2018 victim, hard to confirm due to condition of the body. All bodies experience bloating. Bloating of the corpse is indicative of drowning, but only 1 victim was found in the water. So they all have water symptoms. Interesting. Killer profile. Talk to someone. You need to talk to someone for the killer profile? That's interesting. Scrolling down the stream and saw this you're streaming, love it. Oh, thank you for liking the stream. I'm glad you're liking it. I spent like 40 minutes talking about the previous games, so I'm just starting to play this one. Post-mortem tattooing of the body. Oh, post-mortem tattooing? That's interesting. That's why it's illegible, because a tattoo needs to heal, and to heal, the body needs to be alive. So if the body is dead, the tattoo will not heal. And it won't be readable. Victim 3 was covering an illegible tattoo, a message from the killer, and maybe their arts. Apart from them missing in 2010, the victims have nothing in common. I mean, they disappear on the same place at the same time, so that's a common threat. The murder targets have no discernible common traits, and the chest trauma resembles animal butchery techniques. Killer might be a sportsman or a hunter. We do need to talk to someone. I'm guessing Casey is the one that has the info on the killer. Have you reached affiliate? I have reached affiliate, but I'm really far away from partner. But I have been affiliate for a while. Pistols? Seriously? You have a pistols fucking... Jesus. A hanging deer? I'm assuming that the pictures are the pictures of the safe house they are staying at. I want to believe that. Greater Washington area. Nothing we can do here. My next goal is to have fun and do the best streams I can do. Eventually, maybe partner, but it's not a reality right now. I just want to improve my content. Tiny pumpkin. I'm assuming that picture is Logan, maybe? Oh my god, the picture of Sam like the kitchen smiling. That's adorable, and you can get in and out of the Mind Palace.
Anderson, close to cracking it.
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene.
We literally just started the game, Casey. Fuck off. Not a big fan of how close the camera is to the character, but that's a commonality in horror games.
Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Yeah, really funny. There is things to explore over there, and you're just like running away.
I'll be back in a second.
Roger.
But yeah, no, I am a better detective than him because he didn't bother to look this fucking way. Okay, so there's a padlock in there. Something to interact with in here? Yes, yes there is. Fuck off, bot. How have you been working towards it? How to make it achievable? I mean, right now I did join a streaming team. Um, and the streaming team kind of dissolved. I have been improving my content. Like I have been trying to make it entertaining. I have been making highlights videos, not a lot lately because I moved and I'm preparing my wedding. Life has been busy, hence me not focusing a lot on reaching partner right now. It's not the main focus of my life right now. I again I have been focusing mostly on trying to one have fun and two try to make it fun for the people watching. Chaos at Cauldron Lake, rampage at the rental cabins, and identify man attacks. Vacationers in the dead of night. Night 1899. 1899? That's a new date. We haven't seen that date before. Sunday, an idyllic evening, barbecuing and late night fishing was violently disrupted. Saturday, as a mysterious assailant attacked park visitors, causing chaos and destruction at the cabins. Can I have your Discord? Yeah. I will whisper it. Give me a second. You have it on whispers. Don't mind me if I don't answer right away. I will probably answer after the stream. Because I want to focus on one on the game and two on keeping the stream moving on. Causing chaos and destruction in the cabins, the incident left 3 people injured, one of which has been admitted to the county hospital. As to whether the attacker is still at large, Bright Falls police have yet to make an official statement, leaving the local residents in a state of uncertainty. Witnesses to the crime were visibly shaken, one of whom stated, "1 minute we were laughing and toasting some marshmallows. The next we heard screaming coming from the cabins. We didn't know what was going on, so we called the police and started running for the opposite direction," said Kurt Mill. Another eyewitness, preferred to remain anonymous, said, "It's like he appeared out of nowhere. Suddenly my dog starts barking his head off and the psycho guy comes crashing through the trees." Crashing through the trees. Don't think I will ever feel safe in this forest again. A representative from the rental cabins who chose to remain anonymous wanted to remind customers that if you have plans to stay in our lovely cabins later this summer, please get in touch with us as we may need to rejigger some of the reservations based on the state of the cabin that you have rented with us. Okay. Rejigger some of the cabins? Well, rejigger the reservations. Representative who went further to remind future and potential guests of the wonderful amenities that can be found in the company brochures. Oh, you cannot zoom into the text. Okay, that's gonna be a thing. Company brochures. And on the website. Oh, it started on 1899. It is from 2010. Okay, when they said website, that kind of like threw me off a lot. So the thing is, the paper is from 2010, but it was established. It started on 1899. Okay, that makes more sense. was like, there is no websites on 1899. What do you mean website? Which is real nice, state of the art. My nephew made it. And he's a real computer whiz. Gotta love the computer whiz nephew. Does a hike day keep depression away? So on 2010, there was someone rampaging through the rental cabins? That is July. Oh, I don't remember the exact month of Alan Wake, but this might happen after Alan Wake. No, no, because it is the Fall Fest. So this happened before Alan Wake. Yeah, this is from before Alan Wake 1. Because they went for the Deer Fest, and the Deer Fest is during fall. And July is not fall, July is summer. Okay. Computer Wiz nephew. It might be bright and sunny in July, but it's never too soon to start worrying about the gloomy months of autumn ahead. That's right. In the grand scheme of life, those dead depressing days, Jesus, are just around the corners. Have you been taking your vitamin D? Probably not, but for all of you thinking there's got to be another way, there's good news. Hiking have been proven to be incredibly beneficial to your mental and emotional health. So get on out there, just don't forget the flashlight in case it gets dark. Missing Doberman found on the trail. A heartfelt reunion took place this weekend between Miss Amanda Smith when she was reunited with her beloved dog Coffee Bean. Aww. Coffee Bean is a really good name for a dog. We love Coffee Bean in this house. CB, as his owner refers to him, had been missing for 3 days, and Mrs. Smith was afraid that she wouldn't see her best friend again. When I got the call, I couldn't believe my ears. She said, I must have asked, am I dreaming? At least 7 or 8 times. It was actually 9 times, confirmed Ranger Stevenson, the man responsible for finding the wayward canine. It's rare that you get to give those kinds of calls, and I feel real grateful to have had the opportunity with all the predators out there. Usually you are telling folks that you found their dogs dead, their cats eaten. And so it felt real good to give someone good news. Even if Coffee Bean is kind of in a rough shape, the fur will grow back, sure, but, well, I suppose that's all I should say about that. Huh. So the dog was in a bad shape. Interesting. Bright Falls on virtual baking. I love that you could actually, if you wanted to, you could actually read it on the paper. Like you could read it on the paper, but it's easier on the on-screen text. Bright Falls on virtual baking champ. Little Sally Upton's whole family erupted into tears when she won the big match this weekend. Was she playing soccer, tennis? No. In this brave new world that we live in, her family was cheering her on as she was winning a match in a game that exists only on the information superhighway. I know this is supposed to be written on 2010, but why does it read like a 2002 fucking article? The information superhighway, also known as the internet. Jesus fucking Christ. The game in question was Mega Baking Star, in which players compete to make the tastiest treats and the sweetest eats for their virtual judges online. Bright Falls congratulates Sally on her big win. Okay, so this gave us like almost zero info other than in 2010 there was someone attacking the campsites. Um, but this is the kind of like flavor text that you would find on Control that I love a lot and that drove me to platinum and 100% Control because Jesus fucking Christ, I love seeing like world building like this. I call it flavor text, but it's more world building than it is flavor text. In the meantime, Casey has been seeing me reading a paper from 10 years ago. God knows, maybe 14 years ago. Have I been told how to save? Oh, you can load, but I haven't been told how to save. So there is no way to load manual saves, but we don't have a way to save them manually? So maybe it depends on an item or a button that they haven't taught us yet? Starting fires is prohibited. Please do not feed the wildlife. Raccoons may be cute, but they are not cuddly. Leave no trace. Fun. Raccoons are not cuddly. It feels weird to run through the forest and not find a single coffee thermos.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old.
I am not that old. This is kind of a reference to the tutorial of Alan Wake 1. There was a moment where you were taught how to jump stairs now. Mirror Peak. Okay, we are in the Mirror Peak area. The mighty mountain in the distance is no other than the Mirror Peak, the iconic landmark overlooking Cauldron Lake. From the right angle, its beauty will be reflected on the calm surface of the lake, mirrored at all its inverted glory. Okay, so we are kinda in the opposite side of Bright Falls. The lake is a big place, so I'm assuming that this is the opposite side of the lake.
Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
I fucking get you, Casey. I do love flying and I do love the sky. But when you're in the ground, it's way too much. Fucking nature, indeed. Fucking nature, indeed. That looks
I think I saw something.
super deliberate.
It'll only take a minute.
I'll wait here.
This looks really, really deliberate. What is this path? Is this a shortcut to the other side where Casey is? It kinda is a shortcut to where Casey is. Oh! Dream catcher. Interesting. I love that you leave footprints. I didn't notice that detail. Another dream catcher? Thank you for the hydration. There's a lot of dream catchers in here. Has it been Twitch being mean to you? Where the fuck are you going, Casey? Can I go that way?
This is not the right way. I have a
Okay.
case to get back to.
I know, Saga, I know.
Good to see you still in one piece, Anderson.
Haha,
Forest is a
funny.
dangerous place.
Oh, you're fine, yeah. You're fine.
Not a bad place to get murdered.
If getting back to nature is your thing.
Funny. Okay, so that was not the place I was looking at this. It is
I'll look
connected
around.
to, but
See you in a bit.
not the same. So there is a beanie? A bowl? What the fuck is this? A bowl of yarn? It might be a bowl of yarn from the people making the dream catchers. Maybe
Is that
multiple.
Kid's lunchbox?
What the fuck is... Oh, are they painted
An
stones?
Alex Casey movie lunchbox.
Oh my god, an Alex
Casey hates
Casey...
endless jokes about coincidentally having the same name as a fake detective. He hates those cheesy crime books, but he really hates the movies.
Oh my god. Okay, so they did make a reference to Alex Casey being a fictional character. Manuscript pages can be used to upgrade weapons in the mine place. Manuscript pages can be used to... Are they a currency now? Again and again, more bullets, another headshot. Hold the fire button to activate auto fire mode. This significantly increases the rate of fire. Increases the magazine by 50%. Land 2 headshots in quick succession to stun an enemy for an extended duration. This is really fucking weird. This is super not Alan Wake. I don't mind it. I don't hate it, but it's so different that it's shocking. Like, really, really shocking. My dad used to say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Not sure where the tough gets going to, but maybe you'll find it inspiring. Fun? The mortar falls. This powerful feat of nature will revive the spirit as it does the surrounding nature. The churning, grinding waters at the bottom of the falls resemble a mortar and a pestle, quite like the one in the Witch's Cauldron. The Witch of Cauldron Lake is able to have being used to travel through the night sky. Okay. So more lore about the Witch of Cauldron Lake.
Anderson.
Hi, Casey. I found a lunchbox from that character that you hate that is named exactly like you.
Damn. Should have brought an umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did, next coffee's on me.
You are gonna owe me a coffee because I know these guys and I doubt that they put a tarp. That is a really good and weird place to have a phone booth. How much clearer can I make it, Mulligan? So you can snoop into the conversation? They didn't put a tarp. You owe me a coffee, Casey.
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved.
I don't think you ever see Thornton and the other one. I think you might see them in the background once in the first game.
So, FBI, huh? That's so cool.
You mostly hear them on the radio, but I don't think you see them. And if you see, it's like really fast.
You forgot the UFO cover-ups.
What? Those are real? You guys hiring?
Thornton, he's joking.
Let's just see this body, shall we?
You owe me a coffee, there's no tarp.
Now this is the scene of the crime. We found him on the table. And we didn't touch nothing, you know, procedures and stuff.
Thanks, Deputy.
Yeah, the procedure would be to put a
You owe me a
tarp.
coffee.
Okay. Let's start by examining Al Estabano.
Oh, I owe you a coffee,
Does
not
this
the other
fit
way
the
around.
MO
Okay.
of the previous murders?
Can I not talk to you?
Step 1. Examine the corpse.
Thank you for telling me the steps. Oh, heart is out.
Body is positioned on the table. Ritualistic.
Really ritualistic. You have unlocked your first key image. You can place it on the board inside the Mind Palace. It allows Saga to see active clues. The key image can be selected and placed on the case board. Where is the previous things?
Another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Coincidence?
Placing a key image on the board begins a new line of investigation. Another body has been found in the woods near the Bright Falls. Perfect timing. Need to see if this is linked to the killings we are here to investigate. Objectives are viewable by pressing triangle. Yes, I know. You're now free to examine the board or complete this thing. Oh! Oh my god, the fucking lunchboxes are gonna be... Oh my... The lunchboxes are gonna be the new coffee thermoses. This fucking thing is gonna be the new coffee thermos. Would you look at that? An Alex Casey cold case lunchbox in its
Finding a
natural
case ready
habitat, the
lunchbox out here
forest.
can't be a coincidence. Another message.
Bright Falls area. Found a strange lunchbox. Who left it here? Should I keep an eye for others? Who left this? Bright Falls area. And Cauldron Lake area. Cannot place it because we don't know. Oh, it doesn't go there?
Doesn't look right.
Oh, you have to choose where the pictures go. Oh, that's interesting. Cauldron Lake area. Oh, that's so... Oh, I love this. Oh, you have to build your own, like, murder board. Oh, that's really nice. The writer of this note is leaving this to inspire someone. Are they really for me? No, they are for their kid. The note clearly stated that it was for their kid. Okay, so we have the previous murders and the murder at Calder Lake. So this is how it works. I like it. That's gonna be an interesting mechanic that I will have to get used to. Okay, corpse. Ritualistic. Same MO than the other ones. The other ones didn't seem to be naked, but this one is bloated and the heart is out. Branches seem to be new, but it might be that they fell from the tree. Footprints. Okay. Different sets of footprints. Do I have to check the corpse again? You can collect clues by investigating the body. Okay.
Bruising on the wrist from the cargo straps holding him down. Incised stab wound. Chest cut open. Heart removed. The killer left the heart right next to the body.
I fucking love this. This is full on fucking LA Noire. Newly discovered clues can be placed into the open questions. So we have the open questions and then we can place the clues. This is 100% LA Noire.
Heart removed from chest, strapped by the wrists. Definitely matches the previous murders. But this time the heart and the straps were left behind.
Oh, it's gonna be so hard not to play this. It's
This
gonna be
makes
so hard
4
not to play
murders that
this.
we know about.
Oh, God. Waiting for the next session is gonna be a nightmare. The clues have resolved an open question and unlock a deduction. As you advance the investigation, new questions will be unlocked and update your goals. Check the goals by pressing triangle. Learn more about the victim, learn more about the killer. Okay, so we have this. Murder matches previous cases, but interrupted. May find some new leads this time. Who is the victim and who are the killers? I love that it says killer S and that you don't have to go to the door of the Mind Palace.
Need to find more clues.
Okay, multiple sets of
people were
footprints,
here.
so yeah.
Multiple killers?
I mean, it is ritualistic and rituals are usually done in like group. A tripod.
Someone left in a hurry. Knocked the tripod over. Was it for a
Interesting.
camera?
No.
Someone was drinking beer. They spent time here. waiting.
That's really fucking interesting. So is that the cult people? The cult of the tree people?
Any idea who the victim is?
Oh, I sure do. His name is Nightingale. He was FBI. He came to town about 13 years
That
ago.
is fucking
I haven't heard a
Nightingale?
word about him since. Well, until now.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay,
Robert
so
Nightingale?
Oh,
Robert
yes.
Nightingale.
You probably knew him. Brothers in arms. Oh, and sisters.
Okay. Okay. So now remember the FBI agent from from Alan Wake 1? Oh my god, now I look at his face. He is Nightingale. This is the guy from the from Alan Wake 1, the FBI agent that was following Alan. Remember Nightingale, the guy that got like carried out by the shadow on the sheriff station? Yep, this is him. Dead, fully dead. He's gone. He came out of the lake. The game started with him walking naked out of the lake, and then he got like sacrificed by cultists. Oh my god, that's so interesting. Did the cultists know about Did the cultists know about the shadow? About the dark entity? Thornton says that the victim is Robert Nightingale, last seen in Bright Falls 13 years ago. So we have a date. 2023. The game takes place in 2023. The victim. No one has heard from this guy in 13 years. Why surface now? Where has he been? Multiple sets of footprints.
Okay.
Lots of activity. It's unlikely the killer was working alone. For later, the cooler and the beer bottles. So I love that they are marked that you cannot use them. This is probably the witnesses, not the murders, not the killers. That's why it's marked for later. I really like how this works.
The Mile High Strangler case. Proud of that one.
The what now? Saga? The Mile High Strangler case. Certificates of Meritorious are different to Agent Saga Anderson on 2019, which is around the date of Control. It's the same year as Control, but it might be slightly earlier. Supervisor Special Agent Stacy Marrow. We haven't seen a Stacy Marrow yet. We don't know anyone by that name yet. Okay, we can finally investigate this
Mom
place.
may be gone, but whenever I read this, I feel like she's still here.
Okay, the subtitles appearing on top of the text is kind of fucked up, but at least we heard it. For what it's worth, I think it's important that Logan grows up seeing you do what you love, what you are great at. That will teach her so much. There will be times, just like when you question your choices, your competence, even your own sanity. When things get dark, remember to trust and love yourself as much as your family does. You won't be perfect, but I know you will be amazing. Love always, Mom. Oh, she had a really good mom. And she seems to be a really good mom to Logan.
Miss you, kiddo. I'll be home soon.
Also, I think it's the first time I see Logan as a girl's name.
If only the rest of the Bureau knew what a softy Casey is.
The fucking face. Oh, I love that.
Was he killed here or brought here after?
No, he was killed here.
For display.
Now the question is how and why. Okay, is those footprints the only clue that we can get from that? Yes. Can I talk to him?
So you knew our victim?
Well, I didn't recognize him in his current state. But yeah, I ran into him a few times at Quantico. Never worked any cases together. After his partner got killed in the field, he went off the deep end. Got the boot pretty quick after that.
Interesting. So
What happened?
So what happened to Nightingale after the Bureau let him go?
I only know the rumors. Depression led to booze, booze led to paranoia. He got some wild ideas in his head, chased ghosts until he fell off the map. Guess he ended up here.
I bet there's more to that story.
sorry.
No happy ending.
Nightingale went missing 13 years ago. 2010.
The same as all the other victims.
Yep.
Certainly fits the pattern. Makes me wonder what was going on that year.
Probably something this town wants to forget.
Probably something this town is already forgetting. Okay, now what I wanted to do, I wanted to activate the background on the subtitles because it's getting hard to read sometimes. Really hope the background is not like super intrusive. Okay, nothing there. Well, time to check. There is other things to investigate in this area, I guess.
I want to walk around for a minute.
You know where to find me.
Closed door, no items to open it. Okay, so it is getting a little open worldly compared to the previous Alan Wake. Alan Wake 1 used to be super linear, and Control is quote unquote open world. Is more like open area more than open world. But this one seems to be semi-open world. Closed by the Federal Bureau of Control, so we cannot get inside here. The lake house.
Hello, this is Agent Anderson and Agent Casey, FBI. We'd like to come in and ask a few questions pertaining to an investigation.
The station heads are not currently available. Access is restricted without their permission.
Nice talking to you, too.
Okay, interesting. So the FBC kind of plays a role in here. The FBC is not like a random throwaway, like.
And I know how to keep confidential matters confidential. Look, I get that the UFO thing was a joke, but you're probably trained to joke about it, right? To deflect, hide the truth from the average Joe.
Anderson. Hey, let's get back to work over here, can we?
I'm working. It's you who is just standing there listening to the guy talking about UFOs. It's your problem. Maybe you should be the one working. Next time, don't tell me to lead the case, because that's what I'm doing. You are the one standing back and dealing with the fucker talking about UFOs. Okay, ritualistic symbol.
Sculpture.
Yep. Blair Witch much?
Wonder what's inside. I should
Confused.
take a look around for a way to open this thing.
Confused, follow these steps. Wash your hands. Take the chicken out of the fridge. Take a nap. Interesting. So I'm assuming this is the fridge. And I will find a bed.
I'll be back in a second.
Roger.
I will find a bed inside. Circle to activate the flashlight. Oh, that's interesting. So it is not L2. Oh. Interesting. Deer head, more symbols and more symbols. A lot of cultist shit.
Hey there, Mr. Deer.
Don't touch
You
it.
remind
That's
me of a dream I had.
Saga. That's fucked up and weird. touching a mounted deer head like that is really fucked up, Saga. It's not the same. Written by who? Marco Vargas. No, okay, never mind. Not a name we know. Okay, so wash your hands is left triangle, right triangle. Take the nap is left and right. Let this be a warning to you, fellow trespassers. They say the lake is a caldera, something formed by an eruption of a volcano or the sinkholes it leaves in its wake. But what if that's not true? What if it is something else, something less natural and much more man-made, intentional? They say the lake's not from its design and it has a purpose. The lake is a hiding place. Beneath the calm surface lies a secret machinery to be activated on the press of a button, and the people with the button, they are in that big house by the lake preparing. I know it. First drawing, waterline. Real caldera is made from a volcano, lava. Second drawing, waterline, engineer structure, and strange machines. Okay. Okay. So, paranoid much. Oh my god, it has like a third eye kind of self-help book. You and I. You and I is the fucking name. Okay, so we have intersecting triangles, and sideways triangles.
Hey, Casey. What's the far's favorite shape?
Please, Anderson, just one case without the
A triangle.
I don't get it.
Yes, you do.
I like that. I also like that the flashlight doesn't have batteries, at least yet. I wonder if Anderson and Alan will have different steps. Okay, so first wash your hands. Washing the hands was this one. Then taking a nap, and then the fridge, which is intersecting triangles, but which ones? These ones? Oh, taking the nap is the last one. Am I not doing it correctly? Oh, there it is. Secret stashes. Don't take anything if you are in one of the trees. Bullets. Oh my god, it's a Resident Evil kind of... It is a Resident Evil menu. What the actual fuck? That's interesting.
This mug always cheers me up.
Not the worst mom? Oh. That's a really fucking nice mug. Like, best dad is a stupid cliche mug. Not the worst mom is a really good one. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, so Casey, Nightingale went off the deep end and the FBI fired him. Okay.
Robert Nightingale, ex-FBI, came to Bright Falls 13 years ago.
Point of interest. Track the information Saga acquires. Okay, so the cooler and the tripod. So the hidden cache that I found was not a picture to put in. Wait, can I save on the Mind Palace? You can resume game, difficulty selection, tutorials, main menu. How do you save? I still don't know how to save the game.
11 remaining.
What do you mean?
11 remaining.
What do you mean 11 remaining? That is 100% a reference that I'm not catching. What is 11 remaining?
11 remaining.
I don't catch that reference, and I wish I could. Okay, so there is puzzles and there is hidden shit and there is investigating like in LA Noire, which I love. The three people, the three cults seem to live here because they had the cabin right next to the ritualistic sites. So,
Did you get lost, Anderson?
did you get grumpier by the second? Okay, goals. What do we have to do? Learn more about the killer. Do we have to learn something in the corpse? No. Is it on this cabin? Is it gonna be somewhere in here? It might be this place.
It'll only take a minute.
I'll wait here.
Not this place, never mind. There's a power counter. Interesting. That connects with the FAC. That's the killer's place. And the cabin. Okay, how are we supposed to learn more about the killer? There's nothing else in here. Well, except for that tiny weird note that we cannot look at. And the guitar that moves on its own. The shower does have more symbols too. A window that faces a rock formation. Fun. So whoever lived here was suspicious of the FBC and the buildings of the FBC, which I mean, they are pretty fucking suspicious. So I will not judge them for that. But the whole, oh, the caldera is man-made and there is a machine inside, it's kind of silly. Now what I wanted to open the map. We can take a big walk around. Oh, interesting, the flashlight is not flashlighting.
I'm getting flashbacks.
To what?
Remember Ohio?
Sure. The North Side slasher. But that case was completely different.
The trees, Anderson. He hid the bodies in the forest.
Interesting. I love that they have like little moments where they talk about the previous cases. UFOs on You, the ultimate guide to spotting unidentified flying objects. Writing this down in case it happens again, and I forget, I got the feeling again, it hit me suddenly at 1:15 a.m. After I finished my AMA on the porch of the trailer. I got on the car and drove chasing it. Starry night, not much moon, as expected. It led me past Bright Falls to Cauldron Lake. I tried to find the spot, the right emotion, the right thought, the combination to have it all aligned and to make it happen. Terrified it would. It didn't, not this time. Frustrated but relieved. I scanned the sky for the shapes, the objects, nothing. But when I blinked repeatedly, I think I saw the after image of an octahedron, and it faded fast. When I got ready to drive back, I felt someone watching me, but not here. It's him, I know it's him. Does he know I'm getting close? I'm on the right track. I was right to come to Bright Falls. What the fuck is this? An octahedron. Oh, that is That is a scratch. That is redacted for a reason. That is really interesting. Would you look at that? An Alex Casey lunchbox in its natural habitat, a broken down campsite. Hell yeah. How do you like the knitting hero? I had it made just for you. And fragments. So the lunch boxes are gonna be just the
Did you know
coffee
this
thermoses in
entire
here.
area is inside a caldera? This whole mountain used to be an active volcano. Imagine the force it took to carve this crater out of the earth. Calderas are pretty rare, so be sure to take it in.
So, essentially, we're standing in the gaping maw of hell.
You got it.
Yep.
I used to love geology when I was in school. I helped Logan build a great baking soda volcano for her science fair.
Cheating on a science fair? That's almost a crime, Anderson.
I'm not gonna say no to quality time with a volcano. I mean, my daughter.
I like Anderson. I like her a lot already. She is fun. She is really fun. I love how she bounces from like Casey's seriousness, but also brings the weirdness and the fun in him. The map. Okay, okay. I don't find anything new about the killer. What else can we learn about the killer? The witch's hut and the witch's ladle. Do we just have to run around and investigate the surrounding area? That takes us to the witch's hut. I'm assuming that this is the current investigation goal? Yeah. Murder site, we cannot get in there. Parking lot and the general store. Maybe, oh my fucking god, it's the fucking general store. I have been running around for no goddamn reason. I want to progress the story a tiny bit because I'm almost around the time where I have to end the stream. I want to progress until the game lets me save, which I haven't been able to do. Okay, so is that the general store or is that the... No, that's the cultist house, isn't it? General store is behind to our left. If something is probably going to have info on the killer, is probably that place. Because the rest of the crime scene doesn't seem to be lending us any information, so... General store might.
Hey, Logan's birthday is coming up. I need toy ideas.
Toys. She's 14, Casey.
Okay.
And?
So, what do I get her?
Get her a book. Something weird and dark.
Laundromat.
Maybe that'll get her back into reading.
Something weird and dark. Oh my god, I love them already. Oh god, it's gonna be hard to end this game. Monday, September 3rd. Some suspicious activity spotted. The fielder thought he saw movement in the bushes. Footprints around the area were found, but some were compromised by the fielder. Note to self, train the fielder. Tuesday, September 4th. Nothing to report, some animals regular. Wednesday, September 5th. Hunters out after dark poachers heard some gunshots. Not one of ours. Gotta keep an eye on these people. They could get more than they bargained for. Not one of our people. And he has the I and you thing. Also, the chocolate Palmer. I don't know if it is a reference to Twin Peaks, but if it is, it's a good reference. Well, we have the store. A dartboard. Clues. Deerfest. Live music. Bucktooth, Charlie, Games, Parade, Cuisine, and Trophies. Same painting we have in our Mind Palace. Closed door. Okay, the Alma that they mentioned, it's probably not pronounced Alma. Oh, there is a ritual symbol on the side of on the wall. Interesting. So this place might be connected to the cultists. Poker chips. Okay, we have nothing there.
Maybe I should call David, see how Logan's doing.
They're fine, Anderson. What's got you so worried?
I just feel bad being gone so long. I've never taken a case this far from them.
They can manage without you for a few days.
They left a lot of garbage. Not the fastidious type.
I need to wait for them to end talking because that conversation overlapped and it kind of sucks when that happens. I love that you can jump to any place of the box of the mind place. Find evidence. Lunchbox. There. Another Alex Casey box. Can I upgrade? Is it randomized? Another headshot, more bullets, and again and again. It's not randomized. Interesting. I'm really stumped to how to continue. I have checked most, if not all, of the surrounding area.
Welcome back, Anderson.
Welcome back, Alex. Found something? Because I sure didn't. Freezer. That connects with the cultist house. Learn more about the killer. You say that like it's easy. Oh, I'm assuming this is the back of the general store. Oh, it is. Okay. I do love how the mine place remembers where you left it. Murderer Cauldron Lake. The killers. I have to find one more evidence about the killer, but... Clues? No. Where could it be? It's gonna be super fucking obvious, isn't it? Is it gonna be the victim? Is it gonna be the branches? It's the fucking branches.
The victim died here.
I think that's everything.
Jesus
at least.
fucking Christ, I'm so
Anything
dumb.
clicking yet?
Not sure. Need to think about it.
I am so slow. I have been running around looking for the fucking clues, and it's something I already mentioned. Like, oh, look, branches and a lot of blood. Something happened here.
Boot prints indicating multiple killers. Quite the party.
Multiple assailants present, messy scene, crime of passion, premeditated, heavy blood splatter on the table. They really made a mess here. Could have been the act or just sloppy work. A lot of activity. Here is unlikely our killer was working alone. Premeditated or spontaneous? Premeditated. A shit ton of premeditation. Tripod.
They planned for the murder to happen here.
I do like this. I
Passing
like
the time
this.
with equipment ready. They were waiting for him. But why Nightingale? He's been missing for 13 years. Why here? Why now?
Huh.
Profiling. Get into the
Nightingale.
subject's head. See what they saw. Feel what they felt.
It's a lot like
Use
Control,
whatever I know about them to guide my
and it
intuition
feels
toward
really
colors.
like a mix between
Piece
Control
it
and
together.
LA Noire. It is a noir detective thing. Oh my god, you can profile into the victim's head. Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay, so I have been reading the making of Alan Wake, and I have gotten into like the mind process of Remedy as a company. So I know that they wanted to make like a supernatural kind of thing with Alan Wake, but they ended up making a thriller because they were into the X-Files and shows like that, and that's why it's episodic, because it was supposed to be like a DVD episode kind of thing. And it really fucking shows. And then they went like, no, what if we actually make the X-Files, but not episodic, but a whole movie, and that's how they got into like Control. Control is not episodic because Control is a whole ass story, but they went more like sci-fi because they wanted to make a something sci-fi. It was kind of like medieval-ish originally, and it like kind of mutated into thriller and weird meta writer thriller with Alan Wake. So they took that sci-fi aspect of it and they shove it into Control, but they still were saying that in Control they wanted to make an investigation kind of aspect to it, that it's kind of in the game. You can solve like some of the cases and you can solve some of the clues in Control. You can find a couple of files that connect here and there is like a whole terrorist organization in Control called the Bless organization that has been committing paranatural crimes throughout the fucking decades, and you can like put pieces together about that organization, but it takes you nowhere because it really is not part of the game. It's just an Easter egg that is there. But I love how they take things that don't fully work with the project that they are doing, but that they want to investigate, and they just shove it into the next game. This game is like that same investigation level of putting things on a board that I was doing with Control, but it's in the game, and I fucking love it. Using her intuition, Saga can discover new clues by profiling the people of interest. Missing person or ritual murder.
Agent Nightingale has been MIA for 13 years. How did he end up here?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
Robert Nightingale came from
I
the
love
lake
that
before his murder.
the deer stacks are technically her horns, giving her a more like ritualistic kind of feel when she does that. That is such a nice tiny background detail.
Nightingale was chosen as the victim. Why?
Flick the switch. It goes click. Lights are off. But somebody's home. Somebody's home.
This wasn't some random act of violence. This was a ritual. And Nightingale a component. They didn't see him as a person. More like a container for something.
Interesting. So, is the tree cult hunting the people affected by the darkness? It's what I'm understanding. The Oh Dear Diner menu. That's really good. Profile the victim. Can we profile Nightingale himself? No, maybe to the board again. Victim came from the lake. I can feel that Nightingale came from the lake, but why now after 13 years? Where has he been? Check the lake shore.
The lake is connected to Nightingale somehow.
Casey, Let's take a look down by the lake. Lead the way.
Sounds good. This way, right?
Right.
Well, okay. Well, I'll just wait here.
Yeah, maybe put a tarp so the corpse doesn't bloat more than it's already.
This one of your hunches, Anderson? Did something happen at the lake?
I think Nightingale came up from that direction. From the lake. Probably looking for shelter. Safety. They were waiting for him.
When you're ready, I'd love to hear what you put together so far.
Sure. It's not that complicated. Nightingale was out in the woods alone at night, possibly nude.
Possibly
Killers knew
nude.
he was here, ambushed him, dragged him to the campgrounds, strapped him to the table, cut his heart out. But then they were interrupted by those witnesses, the Bookers. The job is unfinished.
That seems pretty complicated to me. What was this guy doing skinny dipping at this time of year?
Haven't figured that part out yet.
Mm-hmm. Lots of questions.
Lots of answers for us to find.
I didn't know trees got that big.
Can you give me a fucking... Jesus, that's a
You
really
need to
tall
get
tree.
out more.
That's a really tall tree.
It
No,
is a
that's-
witch with no heart.
A witch
strange
with no
echo of
heart.
owl murder.
A witch with no heart. Just like Barbara Jagger. God damn it. The witch's ladle. There is no mystery in Cauldron Lake being named after its cauldron shape. And yet there are many mysterious stories about the lake. It's being a gloomy doorway to the underworld, or a witch whose cauldron the lake really was. Or of a witch whose cauldron the lake really was. The legend tells that when the affections of a local sheriff went unanswered, he accused the lady in question of having bewitched him. She was drowned, and then she dropped the ladle that grew into a strange tree named the witch's ladle. The woman returned to avenge her wrongdoers. If she was not a witch before, she was one now. She killed the sheriff, drowning him in the lake, and then she took out his heart and locked it in a box. With heart, she would summon him from the lake to exact revenge on her behalf, or so the legend goes. Interesting. So they are changing the Barbara Jagger story and making it a different previous legend. Is this Alan's doing? Oh, a dark footprint.
There's a piece of paper on the ground.
A redacted piece of paper that we cannot read. The virtue of Robert Nightingale, something something redacted. Huh.
Tracks. Barefoot. Nightingales?
Really interesting that
They
it's
come out
not
from
letting
under the
me...
boulder.
It makes no sense.
Makes no sense. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Really interesting that it's not letting me read it. The victim was something something Robert Nightingale. He had suddenly turned up. It is Alan's writing. Leading something... Son of a bitch. Okay, oh, she's going to pick it. Never mind. That is describing what we just
A
found.
page full of text on one side. Not a printout. Written with a typewriter. Old school. Lines scratched out and edits added with a pen.
Mm-hmm, like a manuscript. Page of a story. The killer left a message.
It's for us. The text is about us. The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale. And then there was the page they found. The first step down into terrifying depths.
Reading
Reading
the words. These words felt like a message.
Felt like a message.
Someone knew they were here. Someone playing a game with them. An invitation. How could they not accept?
Even if they knew it would end up hurting them.
Huh.
Someone's been watching us.
Playing a sick game with us.
You were right. This is right up my alley.
Nightingale came this way. Either he dropped this page, or the killers left it for us.
Okay, we have the
I should
Nightingale
profile Nightingale
footprints
about this page.
that weren't there before. So I'm assuming we have to follow them now? Because these footprints were not there before. Ooh, triangle opens them the menu. Charm slots let you equip charms to enhance Saga's abilities. Only charms can be equipped on the charm slots. If you're stuck or unsure where to proceed, check the mine place. Logan's charm increases maximum health. Standard FBI issues sidearm, handgun ammo, and trauma pad, adhesive bandage that restores a good amount of health. So they are going full Resident Evil, huh? Charm bracelet. Made by Logan for her mother, has hooks to attach charms to it. Oh, I really like how different this feels. This feels 100% like Resident Evil. Footprints emerging from under the rock. He walked through the boulder, doesn't make sense. And the trail is gone cold.
I think he came from the lake. But his tracks make no sense.
Too many unknowns doesn't make sense, asking the wrong questions. A dead end, literally. Reading the words, these words felt like a message, something playing a game with them. We're starting to reach the wall, Saga. So the killer is watching us. Game on. Ooh, manuscript. Narration.
The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale.
I love the video feel to it.
Now he had suddenly turned up, only to be murdered in a brutal ritual on the very day of their arrival. And then there was the page. This page, the first page that they had found.
Also, the narration is different to what we saw on the cutscene. Slightly. Just slightly.
Trembling beyond the threshold.
Just like in Control.
Reading the words, these words,
felt like a message.
Was a message. Someone knew they were here. What they were doing. Someone playing a game with them. Leading them on. An invitation. How could they not accept? The sheer audacity of this impossible mystery presented to them. Even if they knew it would end up hurting them.
I fucking love that they are pulling a Control. They are 100% pulling a Control, because in Control this happened a lot, where you would find like clues and videos and audio recordings, and you would hear like a snippet of it or a reaction of the character to it, and then if you get into the menu and you replayed the thing, it had either a different taste to it, like what we heard is not in the same order as Saga was reading it, and it's also more text than what Saga gave us on the cutscene. So there's a new question.
We found a page in the woods. A story about these events. What is Nightingale's role in this?
I carry his words close to my chest now. Inside, the awful truth. You must dig it out.
Something was put inside him. In his chest. I must find out what.
I think I know where they're going with this. I think that I know where they're going with this. Also, I might have to dig inside his chest, literally. I think Alan has become the new dark entity. Alan killed Barbara Jagger, but by killing Barbara Jagger, he was bound to the dark place. So he had to become the new dark entity. And that's why he cannot leave the lake.
Found all I can here. Time to properly
That's my
examine
theory
the
so
body.
far.
See what I can find inside.
Learn all I can here. Need to get back to the body to examination in town. Okay.
Casey, I think something's been put inside Nightingale's body. Let's tell the deputies to get the body to the town morgue.
Okay.
Cannot wait to
Whoever
see
wrote
your
that
thoughts on
page
it
made sure
too,
it read
sweetie.
like a story. Like a scene from a thriller.
I hate all of it. The text said we'd find more.
I hate all
I
of
believe it.
But what's the purpose? They're twisting events to create their own narrative. To do what? Entertain some fantasy? Projecting their desires? Are we characters or the audience?
Both.
Witnesses to their design?
Or
All the
victims
above?
of it.
It's
Yeah.
all about control. Deciding what happens to
It's all
who.
about control.
Don't let it drag you in.
Too late. I'm already hooked. I need the next chapter.
Me too, Saga. Me fucking too. God, I love how they write. It's really, really catchy and I love it. Oh, it's gonna be hard to stop playing and wait for the next session.
You made it back. Good.
Fuck off,
Hope you didn't get
Thornton.
stuck in any of those big puddles. Crazy flooding down there, huh? Just like I said.
Deputy, I want the body taken back to town for a proper examination ASAP.
Well, sure, but the coroner won't be back in town for another week after Deerfest.
Not a problem. I'll do it myself.
Oh, and Sheriff Breaker called to say he's got the bookers at the Oh Dear Diner in town. Oh, and I've got a key to the gate. It's a shortcut back to the parking lot just up the hill.
Interesting. So... Deerfest is happening again. Shortcut key. I love that it's called shortcut key.
Let's get the car, drive to Bright Falls, and talk to these witnesses, the Bookers.
At the diner, right? I could use a cup of coffee.
Let's try that shortcut the deputy mentioned.
Sounds good.
I could use a cup of coffee.
Seems like a nice town so far. Murders aside. Pretty woods. Cute lodge we got set up in.
Yeah, Murder Society
We
is
should go
not
for
a
a
bad
hike if we
town.
get a chance.
Now you're just being mean, Anderson.
Deputies aren't exactly up to the task, but hopefully the sheriff will be more helpful.
Not a surprise about the deputies. Doubt they see much stuff this gruesome.
Cannot wait for them to meet Sarah. Sarah is a lot more helpful when it comes to this stuff. Do not enter the FBC. Do not touch this station, is property of the FBC. So they are all over the place. Huh. They are all over the place. And another... Hey,
A lunchbox again.
a lunchbox on its
Who's leaving these
natural
out here?
habitat next to the FBC station. We are in this together here who have a heroic day. Who's leaving them here? The messages don't seem related. Not a lot of them. Huh. Better not to tell Casey about the lunchboxes. He doesn't like Alex Casey, the character, so he wouldn't be super happy about the Alex Casey
Can't fit the
lunchboxes.
clues all together yet. Heart removed, tripod, tracks leading to a dead end.
A tripod for a camera?
But no camera.
To record a snuff film?
Maybe. And why take out his heart just to throw it away?
To stuff in something for us to find.
Now the question is, did the cultists stuff something inside, or did Nightingale already have it and the cultists were digging for it? This has been surprisingly peaceful, this whole thing. Hiking trail. I really hope, I wouldn't mind having to play a second time, so I'm gonna try and follow the story until the place where I can save. Until the game teaches me
Here
to
we
save.
Let's drive back to town and meet the sheriff at the diner.
But I wouldn't mind doing a second playthrough to find something I might have left behind. Because I didn't investigate the entire forest. There were things that I left behind.
I've never seen
And
killers
in Alan
reach out
Wake,
so
if you
directly
left something
before.
behind, you would have to repeat the
Damn
chapter.
impressive work so far.
It was different than Control.
With your technique, these hunches were moving fast.
I wasn't sure about taking a case so far from home, but I'm thrilled to be here for this mystery.
Casey has the Sam Lake voice. I don't think it's Sam Lake.
No, I'm all set.
No, it's not.
I'll pop
It's
there
not
anyway.
him. He just
I wanna
looks
walk
like
to the
him, but
diner,
it's not him.
Get a feel for the town.
He doesn't have the Max Payne voice either, I think, because the actor died before they recorded. I think it was the Trench, Zachariah Trench from Control. But I think the actor died before they could record it.
The diner's just up the waterfront. Shouldn't keep the sheriff and our witnesses waiting.
I smell coffee.
I smell coffee. Can I save, for the love of God? Can I save? Did we get a save? Invitation. Save 1 minute ago. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here because I cannot do a manual save, at least yet, and I don't know how to do it. And as much as I want to keep playing, I do have to leave it here because I still have things to do, and I have to get ready for tomorrow classes. So I hope you enjoyed it. I am loving the fuck out of this game so far. Thank you, Nea, for insisting on buying it. Yeah, Jesus fuck, Alan, even in the main menu, seriously. But yeah, I'm going to leave this one here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I will see you on the next video stream or whatever I'm doing. So until then, thanks for watching. I hope you want to also thank the beautiful people keeping the lights on, like Greg, Neaya, Javi, Riku, Dino, Chica, Cosmic Garden, Fantastic Mr. Pig, or Greg again. And you can be on the credits like them if you support the channel, and you can do it by subscribing, gifting subs using bits, tipping on the streams or on coffee, gifting me something from the throne list, or gifting yourself something from the merch. We have merch, and we do have a really cool Alan Wake t-shirt that I made for Alan Wake 1 with a typing machine, a typewriter, and it's not a lake, it's an ocean sentence. Or you could be like Gia and commission me to edit video for you. But for now, let's call it a night, and let's see who to raid.